What is good, you guys? Welcome back to Hoops Up. Welcome back to a brand new video. In today's video, we're going to be doing our play-in predictions for this year. The play-in is officially set. I want to do my predictions as soon as possible before it starts on Tuesday. So you guys are going to be hearing my play-in predictions today. You know, it's going to be a really fun video for me to do because I'm super excited for this play-in. I think this play-in is going to be really fun to watch, especially there's some games that I think will be must-see TV here. So as we all know, man, the play-in has been set. We'll start off with the Eastern Conference. Before we do, though, make sure you guys drop a like, subscribe, and comment down below, as you guys always have shown so much love throughout both of my channels. So yeah, keep showing love, man. Keep showing love, and let me know what your predictions are down in the comment section below. But let's start off with the East. We have the 9-10 matchup: Atlanta Hawks versus the Charlotte Hornets. I have the Atlanta Hawks winning this one. I do have the Atlanta Hawks winning this one. I think it'll be a very fun game to watch because the Hawks and the Hornets are both, offense heavy teams. They have a lot of firepower, but I do think the Hawks will end up pulling this one out even without John Collins. But I think the Hornets are also without Gordon Hayward, so that kind of offsets each other. And I just think that Trae Young is a guy that can just win you a game single-handedly. They have the best player in the game. I think they have a better surrounding cast. I like Bogdanovic, Gallinari, Capella, Okongwu. Lou Will can fill it up off the bench. DeLon Wright can be a pest and score inside. I like this team against the Hornets. I think the Hornets defensively are atrocious. I think the Hawks will pull this one out. And they will face the loser of Brooklyn versus Cleveland, 7-8 matchup right here. I have the Brooklyn Nets winning. I think the Brooklyn Nets are on a mission, man. They want to get to the playoffs. They want to, acquire the least resistance way possible, and the easiest path for them is to take care of business in the 7-8 matchup, and that will set them up against a 2 seed in the Boston Celtics, which will be an amazing series, probably one of the best series of the first round, the Celtics and the Nets. That series is going to be an absolute cracker jacker to watch, man. That series is going to be so fun. You have the offensive firepower of the Nets, you have the defense of the Celtics, and you have Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown firing on all cylinders right now. The Celtics are hot. The Nets potentially could get Ben Simmons back for the playoffs. But I think for the play-in game, they obviously won't have Ben, but I still think they'll take care of business against Cleveland, who has been kind of up and down. They won tonight or today against a shorthanded Bucks team, but they've kind of cooled off since their hot start towards the beginning of the season, and they have slipped to 8. And I do think that their woes will continue against the against the Atlanta Hawks, because the winner of 9 and 10 plays the loser of 7 and 8, and that is the team that plays the number 1 seed in the Miami Heat. And in my scenario, I have the Hawks playing the Cavs. I think the Atlanta Hawks will pull it out, man. I think Trae Young is just too good. I think that they have seasoned veterans on their team like Gallinari, Lou Williams. The Cavaliers, I think the only veteran on that team is like Kevin Love. They don't really have that much playoff experience. I don't really know how much you can trust Jarrett Allen coming back from his injury. I don't even know what the timetable for Jarrett Allen is coming back from his injury. It'll be tough. I wouldn't be surprised if Cleveland wins, but I think the Atlanta Hawks will just pull it out because they have, a guy who's an MVP level player in Trae Young. I think anytime you have a guy like that, like, you always feel good about your chances against a team that doesn't have a guy like that. With all due respect to Darius Garland and the Cavs, I think the Hawks will win this one. And I think the 7-8 seeds in the Eastern Conference will end up being the Brooklyn Nets and the Atlanta Hawks, and the Hawks will, in my opinion, end up playing the Heat. The Brooklyn Nets will be playing the Celtics, and that will be how the Eastern Conference goes. So those are my play-in predictions for the East. Let's get to the Western Conference now, because this is even more interesting. We have the 9-10 matchup: New Orleans Pelicans against the San Antonio Spurs. I got the Pelicans in this one, man. A lot of you might have the Spurs. I have the Pelicans in this one. Their talent level is just, I think, a little bit more than the Spurs. They have 2 all-star caliber players. Well, 3 if you want to count Jonas Valanciunas as one. But I think they have 2 solidified all-stars on their team, like Brandon Ingram, CJ McCollum. These 2 guys can just go off for 30 at any given night at the same time. They're just lethal. I like what the Spurs have been doing. They've been playing gritty. They've been playing tough. Pop has been coaching them really, really well. They've done really well to get even into the play-in. Like, a lot of people didn't expect the Spurs to be in the play-in, but I think that's where it ends for them, man. I think the Spurs, as tough as they play, I just don't think they have the firepower to match up with some of these teams, and the Pelicans certainly do have the firepower offensively with Brandon and CJ, and then Jonas is a very underrated center. I think the most underrated big in the NBA is Jonas. I think Jakob Poeltl is also pretty underrated too, though, so that'll be a nice matchup. But I think, you know, they have scorers in CJ and Brandon. Larry Nance has been starting to play games for them now. Trey Murphy, the rookie, can fill it up. They have a defensive stopper in Herb Jones, who you can put on any team's best player. If a guy is getting hot for the Spurs, you can put him on him, and you know, he will do his best. For the Spurs, man, they don't really have a guy who can, you know, you can trust to score the ball like that. DeJounte is good. Don't get me wrong, DeJounte is good, but I'm not sure if DeJounte is, you know, a bona fide bucket like that. You know, he's a defensive first player, a pass first player, a guy who does a little bit of everything, but scoring wise, their best scorer might be like Lonnie Walker or, you know, Keldon Johnson, Josh Primo, Devin Vassell, Josh Richardson. One of those five will probably be their best scorer, but I do think that the New Orleans Pelicans will pull this one out. And unfortunately for the Spurs, it'll be the end of the road for them. And then with the 7-8 matchup, Minnesota Clippers, I think this will be the best matchup because I love Minnesota's team. I love Anthony Edwards. I love Cat. I really like what Patrick Beverley has done. He's going to be playing against his old team. Shout out to Pat Bev for getting ejected while I'm recording this video. Absolute troll, bro. This guy is insane. But he will be playing against his former team. You know, that's going to be an interesting game to watch. I'm going to go with the Clippers. I think this will be a tough game to call, and a lot of people might go with the Timberwolves. They're the higher seed here. But I'm going to go with the Clippers just because, you know, I think the best player in this game is Paul George. I think he'll put his imprint on this game. The thing about the Clippers I really, really like is that they're resilient. They're tough. You know, no matter how much they're down, they're always going to try to fight back. That's just what Tyronn Lue instilled in them. He's been one of the best coaches this season. I think the Los Angeles Clippers do have, you know, a shot at making a run, not in a way of like winning a championship, but they could, you know, upset a few teams if they wanted to. You know, in a 7-game series, anything can happen. The Clippers have that, you know, they have that the hunger and the grit and the desire. They're gonna be a tough out for any team. You know, they kind of remind me of those old Miami Heat teams, you know, when they were playing against the Sixers with Josh Richardson and Tyler Johnson and these guys who aren't like household names, but like they will definitely fight and they're gonna be gritty and they're gonna be tough. So I have a lot of respect for this Clippers team, man. I think that they just fight every single, you know, possession, unlike their counterparts, the Lakers, who just give up and don't play with energy. The Clippers do embody that. So I think the Clippers will win this game. But I think for Minnesota, I think Minnesota will win the second game against the New Orleans Pelicans. As much as I said, you know, good things about the Pelicans offense, you know, Cat and Ant might be a better duo than CJ and Brandon. You know, it's arguable, but I think that, you know, when you have a guy like Anthony Edwards, who I think is a bucket, like bona fide scorer. That guy can score the ball in bunches. Just dropped a career high a couple nights ago. Cat can absolutely go off. You know, he's had a 60-point game this season. I like their role players, man. Their role players also play hard. You know, Patrick Beverley, I just talked about, but I like Jared Vanderbilt. I like Jalen Noel. I like Jaden McDaniels. They're even getting quality minutes from guys like Leandro Bomaro to score the ball, Josh Okogie, Malik Beasley. I love Naz Reid as a backup center. Don't even get me started on him. That guy is Naz Reid, bro. Naz Reid is really, really underrated. I don't know how many Timberwolves games you guys tune into, but Naz Reid is one of the best backup centers in the NBA. This guy is really productive. I'm a huge fan of his. And I didn't even mention Deangelo Russell. I did not even mention Deangelo Russell, who can be a wild card, be that playmaker for them. And he can definitely, you know, be an X factor for this team. I don't know what the status on his injury report is. I expect him to play. He's missed the last couple games, but I expect him to play. And I think the Timberwolves will pull this one out and will beat the New Orleans Pelicans in the winner of the 9-10 versus loser of the 7-8 matchup in the Western Conference play-in games. And that will set up a first-round matchup with the Suns for the Minnesota Timberwolves. And I'm excited for that matchup because the Timberwolves could steal a game or two because they have the offensive firepower to do so. They already beat the Suns, if I'm not mistaken, this season. And the Clippers and Warriors, Clippers and Grizzlies, that's going to be a really fun series. I'm super excited for that series if that happens, because I do want to see this Clippers team against a Grizzlies team that is not that experienced in the playoffs. I want to see how they rise to that challenge. But those are my play-in predictions, man. Let me know what yours are down in the comment section below. I'm super excited for the playoffs, man. I cannot believe 82 games have already passed. It feels like a blur. But yeah, man, leave your play-in predictions down in the comment section below. Leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below as always. I'll see you guys later as always. Peace.